Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of Pan the Organizer. Today we're discussing compounds, polishes, and pads. So I'll be showing a bunch of different compounds, different polishes, and different pad selections, both foam and microfiber. And I'll be explaining which combinations I highly recommend because I've tested a bunch throughout my 23 years of car detailing experience. The technology has much evolved, and today we're up with some pretty awesome tech. But of course, there are so many choices on the market right now. And of course, many of you guys watching my videos have asked me to do this for a while now. So here it is. I'm also going to give you a couple of tips and tricks on how to properly care for those pads. And also, what do you do in between steps or after the steps? And we'll also be talking about some all-in-ones, which means you're polishing the paintwork, but also applying a base layer of protection for those of you who want to save on time. And yeah, it's going to be a pretty interesting show. So without further ado, stay tuned. Let's go ahead and start the show. So hey guys, I'm Pan. Welcome to the show. I hope you guys are having a great day. So welcome to the show. And well, yeah, today we're discussing all the compounds, polishes, and pads that I personally use in my arsenal, and I'll be showing some combinations to you guys to take away all the guesswork, because it's very important to pair up the proper pad and the proper polishing compound in order to do a good job when you're doing paint correction. So let's dig right into it. But before we do so, I'll be linking all the products, tools, and equipment that I'll be discussing today in the description under the video for you guys to check them out. So for now, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And of course, if you want to continue to learn more about car detailing, so all the products, equipment, tips, tricks, and techniques, make sure you hit the subscribe button that's found under the video, and that way you'll subscribe to my channel and never miss my future videos. So when we're talking about paint correction, what we mean is that we're removing defects from the paintwork. So from the top part of the paint, which is the clear coat, that's the shiny part, well, you're going to remove oxidation, swirl marks, any etching that you might have from mineral deposits such as water spotting, deeper scratches or light scratches, basically any defects that you guys want to remove. And by doing so, you're leveling the paintwork, meaning that you're making it flatter and truer, and hence higher reflection and gloss, because the light will refract off of it in a better manner, and so it looks pretty awesome to the eyes. So there are tons of different products and pad combinations out there. So typically what we do is we use a polishing compound. That's sort of a cream that has abrasives inside. So a compound is the most abrasive form of a paint polish. So that's to remove the heavier defects, so the very deep scratches, deep swirl marks, and heavy oxidation, or very strong etching from those mineral deposits or bird poo that might have been left on there for too long. And the polish is the finishing stage, so it has smaller or lighter abrasives, and that's again to jewel the finish, as we say in the industry, or to make that finish even more perfect, and to remove the scratches that were made by the previous stage, which is the compound stage. So think of it as ever diminishing sizes of those abrasives, and you're refining the paintwork as you go. So it's not always necessary to do a compound and a polish. So you do that if you have heavy defects. If you only have very light swirls and scratches, you can skip the compound stage and just do a polishing stage, because we always want to preserve as much clear coat as possible, guys. So over the lifespan of a vehicle, it is normal that the clear coat itself will start diminishing in the thickness, and also the more you polish paintwork, well, of course, again, the more you're diminishing the size of that clear coat. So clear coat preservation is very important. If you polish your car once a year or once or twice a year with just a light polish, it's not the end of the world if you started with a new vehicle, but you want to assess the paint before you start your work and see what you're dealing with. Some professionals also use a paint depth gauge to know the thickness of the paintwork they're working with, in order to prevent damaging or going through clear coat. And today, well, modern dual action polishers remove any guesswork from the user, because burning through clear coat is a thing of the past, or when we were using rotary polishers, the DA is very, very safe because it generates very low heat at the same place, but that's for another video. By the way, I do have a video on my channel, which is a polishing tutorial for beginners. So learn how to manipulate those dual action polishers, how do they work, and basically explaining the basics of paint correction. Okay, so let's first start by looking at these different products and pad combinations. Again, these are some that I use on an everyday basis when I'm doing paint correction. And throughout the years, the things change and the technology evolves. So I also have evolved what I have in my current arsenal, and it will continue to be that way, well, as long as manufacturers come up with greater technology. So let's first start by talking about some compounds. So the most abrasive of the technologies. So one combination that I like a lot is the Last Cut compounding glaze. So this was made by a guy who's actually a mobile detailer himself, so a professional in the industry, and his name is on the bottle, by the way, so this is Jace Price. Hats off, by the way, to the Rag Company for introducing me to this. So I'll be giving, of course, well, wherever credit is due, I'll be giving it. So people who introduce me to some stuff, well, you guys will be credited. So they introduced me to this Last Cut compounding glaze. This is essentially for heavy defect remover. This has 0 fillers because some compounds or polishes can contain fillers, meaning there are some stuff that's going to fill the light scratches and swirls. So that's technically not doing true paint correction because you're masking the defects. So I tend to prefer pure compounds and pure polishes that do not contain fillers. Stuff like glazes, by the way, do often contain fillers because they're going to mask those defects and give you a temporary effect of paint correction, but eventually the defects come back. So this one here, the advantage is he uses it in direct sunlight and has had great success because a lot of mobile detailers out there have to use compounds in direct sunlight. This is the nature of the job. You have no choice. You're working outside. Although I always recommend, of course, to work in the shade on a cool surface or in a garage when possible in a controlled environment. So along with this compound, one good pad is the Griots Blue Foam Pad. So the Griots come in, of course, in different sizes depending on which size backing plate you currently have. With the LHR 15 Mark II and Mark III, the 5-inch backing plate. So there's a 5-inch disc and it tapers to the front, as you can tell. So it gets wider as you get to the front face of the pad, and it's a 6-inch front and a 5-inch back. So it's particular to the Griots. So this is their heavier compounding pad. So a great combination. So next up, we move on to another, well, actually, let me stick to the compounds for now. So another great combination that I absolutely love is the Meguiars DA microfiber correction system. So they take away the guessing game because they have the pads and the polishing creams all together. So it's a system that works super well with DA polishers. And so this one here is the Meguiars DA microfiber correction compound, again available in many different sizes, and you combine this with the Meguiars DA microfiber cutting disc, this too available in different sizes. So this is the thickness of the pad right here. And so what's the main difference between foam pads and microfiber pads? Typically, microfibers have more of a cutting capacity. So for heavier cutting, this is usually more appropriate. They even have an extra cut disc version if you need even higher cut. But basically, so they're microfibers on top. And yeah, all of them come with hook and loop backing in the back, so you can attach them to your DA microfibers. Essentially, it's kind of like Velcro, if you want to think it that way, but they call it hook and loop systems. By the way, I'll be giving tips on how to clean the pads after you're done, because I know that's a thing that often comes up. By the way, with the Griots Blue Foam Pad, I don't have it here right now because I'm empty of it, but the Jescar Correction compound is another good compound to use with this pad here. Hats off to Matt Mormon from Obsessed Garage. He loves the Jescar Correction compound. And talking about Matt from Obsessed Garage, well, he's the one who introduced me to this next combo, which I absolutely love. So this one here is a polishing combo, so the finishing stage. And we have the Sonax Perfect Finish. So this one here doesn't have that much cutting capabilities because of course it's a finishing polish, but what it does do well is finish the job amazingly well. So for that deep gloss, you're enriching the paint's finish and you're enriching the colors as well. You're adding more reflection to the paint. So this is what finishing paintwork is all about. And what I typically use is the Griots Yellow Foam Pad. So this again is a finishing polish pad. So same thing here, many sizes available, and it's like a tapered finish. So it starts off with a 5-inch backing because I use this with my Rupes polishers, and it finishes with a 6-inch front. But again, many different sizes depending on which polisher you're using. So the Sonax Perfect Finish and the Rupes Yellow Foam Pad. By the way, pretty much all of these produce 0 to no dust. I know that's a big thing for detailers out there, or even for weekend warriors and enthusiasts. We want the less amount of dirt from those polishing compounds, and technology has evolved quite a bit now, so we're getting great results. So the next duo I want to talk about is a brand new introduction from another detailing friend of mine that has a YouTube channel. So that's Brian from Apex Detail. So shout out to Brian and to all my detailing friends. So he introduced me to 3D1 while we were at the Chicago Auto Show. He spoke to me about this combination that he's using, and it's absolutely crazy. So 3D are known for their all-in-ones like the HD Speed, but this one here is, as they say in the front, you'll see here, this is a cutting compound and a finishing polish. So it's like a one-stop shop to do both. So for basically 70 to 75% of the work that I do now, I go to this because it finishes down pretty well. Oftentimes, you pretty much won't even need to go to the polishing stage to finish it off. But of course, if you do, or if it's a high-end level detail, you want to make sure you always finish with a true finishing polish. But honestly, this pretty much does everything. So somebody who's looking for a compound and a polish, this is fantastic. So again, 3D1. And we use this in combination with some new pads from Buff and Shine, some pretty awesome technology here. They call these the Eurofiber. So I have a 5-inch and a 6-inch here. Let me give you a close-up. So it's a blend of 2 different types of microfibers. They have a shorter nap, so shorter microfibers, but boy, did these do an awesome job. So what I like about this combination of the 3D1 and the Buff and Shine Eurofiber pads, is the fact that they finish pretty well. So not only will they remove light to medium defects, so light to medium scratches, swirls, and oxidation, but it also finishes down very well. So you get that glossy finish ready to go when you're done. So very efficient for those detailers who are looking to always improve on efficiency. This is a pretty sick combination. Okay, so next we move on to something that a lot of people like, and they're called all-in-ones. So what is an AIO, or an all-in-one? You often hear detailers talk about that. So basically it's a compound polish, so a correcting cream combined with a form of protection. So it can be Montane wax, some sort of light paint sealant, or even sometimes ceramic technology. And basically it's for those of you who want to really save on time. So you're basically doing all in one. You're correcting the paint and you're applying protection at the same time. Although it's just a light layer of protection, I still would recommend that you top it off with a true paint protectant. But for those of you who don't have all the time or the experience and just want to remove all the guesswork, again, all-in-ones are available. So a few of them that I absolutely love. First of all, here we have the CarPro Gloss Pad. So this is a white finishing pad. So not much cutting capabilities, but this is a finishing pad that you use in combination with CarPro Essence. Now, what is CarPro Essence? Essentially, well, it's a finishing polish, but the good thing about this one is that it also adds a bit of ceramic technology in there as a minute layer of protection, but also acts as a primer for ceramic coatings. So when you're done polishing with this, you can skip the IPA step and go directly to applying your ceramic coating because this serves as a primer. The level of gloss that this gives is absolutely amazing. So you're probably done with your compounding stage and your polishing stage, and you want to refine all that with the last finishing step before you go ahead and apply your ceramic coating and give that extra gloss. Well, Essence is the one to use, and of course the CarPro Gloss Pad is that great combo. So next up, another all-in-one that's a good combination, well, is the perfecting pad, the Yellow Boss perfecting pad from Griots Garage, combined with the Griots Garage finishing sealant. So again, this is a great all-in-one because it applies a light layer of a paint sealant at the end, so a synthetic sealant. And with this correcting pad, well, you're doing both steps at once. So you're removing defects, light to medium defects once again, and you're applying a base layer of protection. So in this case, I would top this off with your choice of a synthetic spray sealant, and you can top that off too with your choice of a good quality Carnauba wax. So basically, yeah, another great all-in-one for those who want to save some time and money. And another great combination that you've seen on my channel is the Turtle Wax Hybrid Solutions. So this is the top of the line range for Turtle Wax because the base level is their green bottles. Then they have the Ice range, and the top of the line that was introduced in 2019 is their Hybrid Solutions. And this all-in-one is the Ceramic Polish and Wax. So don't get fooled by the term wax because this applies a base layer of ceramic protection, so ceramic technology. And we typically combine this with a Lake Country CCS foam pad. So this is their light cutting pad, the orange pad, so it works great in that combination. Has these perforated holes on top to release all the heat and for even product distribution. Again, with the hook and loop system, many different sizes available. So the Hybrid Solutions ceramic polish and wax, and they also have this in the ceramic acrylic black polish for those of you who have black or dark paint. Again, I reviewed that on my channel because you can top that off with the black spray wax, or if you're using the ceramic polish and wax, you can top this with the Turtle Wax ceramic spray coating, which is a very easy to apply ceramic spray coating. And if you apply 2 coats of that, it can last upwards of 10 months of real world protection. Again, I reviewed pretty much all of these products on my channel. So if you want to see in-depth reviews, check that out. But the orange Lake Country CCS foam pad with the Hybrid Solutions ceramic acrylic, ceramic polish and wax from Turtle Wax, another great all-in-one. So this is pretty much the arsenal that I have depending on which paint I'm working on. Of course, I always recommend, so here are some pro tips for you guys. Always work on a test panel. So take an inconspicuous area first, probably try and use the trunk. Tape a section off of a 2x2 and run some tests, guys. So you want to find the optimal combination of these pads and products for the car you're working on, because not all clear coats are the same. You're often going to hear us talking about hard clear coats or medium clear coats or soft clear coats. So there are many Japanese cars like Lexus who have a tendency, or even Honda, to have some very, very soft clear coat, so very easy to correct. However, that means that because it's soft, it's also easy to scratch. At the opposite side, many high-end German automobile makers such as BMW have a very hard clear coat. So of course the paint shines and it's very less prone to scratching and swirl marks. However, the paint correction is more complex because you have to use a bit heavier duty components. So always start with a test section, look at what you're doing, and then use an IPA wipe to make sure that you're revealing the true finish. So once you're done with your test section, let's say you're doing a compound test, remove that, so buff it off with a microfiber towel, and then you're going to do also an IPA wipe down. What is an IPA? It's an isopropyl alcohol mix or isopropyl rubbing alcohol, and there are pre-made solutions like CarPro Eraser or G-On Prep. Again, I linked all of this in the description for you guys, but there are many paint preps available. And what this does, basically, it removes any polishing oil and residue, and it's going to reveal the correction that you actually did. So it's not going to hide any of the filling crap. If you have any fillers, by the way, these will remove those. So it's going to reveal the true finish of what you're doing. So run a test spot, do an IPA, look at it. You can use a swirl detection light or an LED pen light or whatever you guys want to actually have a close-up of the correction that you're doing. And then you can move on to the polishing test, remove that as well with a microfiber towel, run another IPA wipe, and have a look at what you're doing. Another use for IPAs that is crucial, guys. So once you're done with your compound and polishing stages, I always recommend an IPA wipe down with a paint prep, because not only will it remove the polishing oils and residue, but it's going to make the adherence of your paint protectant that you're going to be applying subsequently a lot greater. So the bond between the product and the clear coat is going to be direct because you don't have any polishing oils or residue that are interfering with that bond. And that's particularly true if you're working with ceramic coatings. Ceramic coatings have to bond directly to virgin clear coat, so you want to make sure to strip any polishing oils or residue with a paint prep. Now, what do you do when you first start applying products to foam pads, for example. So what I like to do is to use a polishing pad conditioner. This one here is from Meguiars 37, but there are many different versions available out there. So what this does, basically, you lightly mist the surface of your pad, and it basically helps promote a better product spreading on the pad itself. And also, you're not going to have any dry parts of the pad rubbing on your paint should you not cover the entire pad with the product. So very important to use a polishing pad conditioner. Some use quick detail sprays, but I don't like that option because sometimes they do have additives inside like waxes, and the whole purpose of paint correction is that you don't want to apply protection yet. You want to just correct the paint. So I like these polishing pad conditioners. When you're done using them, I like to use a polishing pad cleaner. So again, this is a Meguiars 37 version, but there are many different brands available out there for polishing pad cleaners. Basically, you mist this on the surface, you let it dwell for a few minutes, and then you rinse out, and that's it, that's all. You can also use some dishwashing liquid. A lot of people do that in the industry. So you'd put that some on the pad, run it through, let's say, medium hot water, and then just work it in, rinse it thoroughly out, and always let them dry face down on some absorbent towel. So that way, you can let them dry and they won't collect any dust because they're drying face down. So that's another technique. So that's for the foam pads. Now for the microfiber pads, when you're using microfiber pads, it's very important to prime the fibers, guys. Of course, you're going to see this in my detailing polishing tutorial for beginners on my channel. But basically what you're doing is you're going to coat the entire surface. What I like to do is you can use a buttering knife or your fingers, and you make sure you spread the product to coat all the fibers. So then you're going to apply a few pea-sized drops on the surface, and then you can start polishing. But the microfiber pads need to be primed. Also, how do you clean these? Well, same thing as the others. You can use the cleaners if you want, or an APC, and then you rub that in and you can rinse it. What I like to do though is treat them like microfiber towels. So I'll take my microfiber pads and I'll separately wash them, but the same thing like I do for towels. So I'll use a liquid detergent that's free of any dyes, any bleaches, or any fabric softeners. You do never want to use those with microfiber pads. I use microfiber detergents, so they're specific like Micro Restore, and that does a great job. So I throw them in the laundry basically. And so in the washer, they get washed. So low temperatures, because you don't want the glue to be removed if you're using high temperatures. And of course, microfibers don't like high heat. And once they're clean, well, you move them on to the dryer, but the lowest possible cycle. So the lowest possible heat, either tumble dry, or you can even let them air dry. Again, I have a tutorial on how to clean microfiber towels on my channel. It's super popular. So I encourage you to check that out. And there are some other pads like the Griots foam pads. These are a bit different as far as priming them. So you would apply 1 to 2 pea-sized drops. You're gonna put it on the surface that you're working with. You're gonna let it go at speed number 2, so very low speed for about 30 seconds, and that's gonna prime the pad. Then you're gonna apply 2 to 3 pea-sized drops, and then you start polishing. So that's the particular thing about the Griots pads, but I have that in my Griots polishers review. So that's how you take care of all of these. So we basically went through a bunch of different combinations that you're using of compounds, polishes, and pads. We spoke about the IPA wipe down, so why you need them. And also we spoke about how to care for the pads. So I think you're ready to go. By the way, I'm curious, which pad polishes and compounds combinations have you guys used with high success? Let me know in the comment section under the video, because it's always cool for us to share as a community what works well out there. Also, again, all the products, tools, and equipment that I spoke about, I'll put the links in the description under the video for you guys to check them out. It's a one-stop shop, and I keep it simple for you guys. If you want to continue to learn more about car detailing, well, all the products, equipment, tips, tricks, and techniques, I highly encourage you to click the subscribe button that's found under this video, and that way you'll subscribe to my channel and never miss my future videos. So guys, if you like these kinds of informative videos, smash the thumbs up button to show me your support. And in the meantime, don't forget, keep it tight, keep it clean, and I'll see you on the next one.